I've come here to SC Labs in California, which is a cannabis testing laboratory, to find out more about the truth around high THC cannabis.
All right, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm going to give you a tour. SC Labs is an analytical testing laboratory that specializes in all forms of cannabis, so medical and recreational as far as the state is concerned. When we first started, we were one of the first laboratories in the world really that would even test medical marijuana for the patient population as opposed to just testing for police and things like that. So now we do kind of a full series of tests on cannabis. We'll test for the potency or the cannabinoid content, the active ingredients. We'll test for the terpenes, so the aromatic compounds that give cannabis its flavor, and also the unique effects from strain to strain. We test for pesticides, residual solvents in cannabis extracts, microbiological contamination, so things like E. coli and salmonella, foodborne pathogens, and then as well as other pathogenic compounds that are a little more specific to cannabis, like aspergillus, and as well as mycotoxins, which are a special toxin that microbiological contaminants will produce. Go on in. So when a sample first comes in, it's checked into our computer system, and we have a LIMS system, which is sort of it's a laboratory inventory management system, and that tracks every sample and every iteration of that sample throughout the lab, every container that sample goes into, from the time it comes in the lab to the time it actually leaves the lab to be destroyed. Most of the tests involve some sort of extraction. So we have a solid material that looks like these, ground cannabis, and we're going to extract whatever chemicals we're going to want to measure from that ground cannabis into some sort of liquid solvent. Most of the instrumentation we use needs the active ingredients to be dissolved in a solvent. Then even the microbiological testing we do is it's PCR based, so basically we're looking for the DNA of certain pathogens on the cannabis. So even that we extract with water, and then we incubate it, grow whatever pathogens might be present, and then basically do a short little piece of a DNA sequence on whatever we've extracted to see if there's any pathogens there. It's this very targeted, specific way to look for microbiological contaminants.
What conditions are people consuming cannabis for here in California?
So California is actually phasing out kind of the medical program. Since we've legalized cannabis for all adult use, the medical system won't really exist as it used to. Before that, it was very easy to get a medical recommendation, which is one of the reasons that the California cannabis market was as successful as it was, because a lot of states have legalized medical marijuana or medical cannabis, but they've been very strict on which conditions it can be used for, which really kind of hampers the doctor's ability to decide what's best for their patient.
So thanks very much for having us at SC Labs. I just wondered if you had any words of wisdom for me going back to the UK.
Well, first, it's been my pleasure, and yeah, I would just say don't overlook the quality control component of cannabis. When you're regulating cannabis, one of the best advantages is the fact that you can rely on clean, quality cannabis. And that's really important as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. Well, yeah, thanks very much. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, my pleasure.